Thank you so much for joining. Just one small request that keep your videos on. All my teachers over here, I know you might be multitasking at home right now. It's a Saturday evening, but if possible, if you can keep your videos on, I can see your face, I can see your excitement, your body language, your expressions will talk to me, and we'll ensure that we have an extraordinary session together. To begin with, straight away, let's move into the subject. Are you taking good care of yourself? I really believe COVID has been a little difficult time for all. And I've also seen that people who have to take care of others often forget to take care of themselves. During COVID, I know that teachers and educators and principals have risen to the occasion extraordinarily well. And even when everything at home is going on, you still manage to take classes. My wife is a teacher, so I've seen that a lady who was reluctant to use technology, mastering technology in the matter of a few hours. And why? Because my children should not suffer. I have spoken to a few dear teachers of mine, and they would also say the same thing. My children should not suffer. So hats off to all the teachers, everybody who's in the profession of teaching. You know, a businessman also learned how to use these digital tools during COVID. All my training programs, I am a life coach by profession, so all my training programs would happen physically. We have a training center in Koregaon Park in Pune, and then COVID struck. Meeting physically not possible. So we moved to Zoom very fast. But for us, it was about survival. For us, it was about money. For us, it was about profits. For teachers, it was not any one of these things. But for the teachers, it was, my children will suffer. If I don't teach to them, they will suffer. You mastered not thinking about yourself, but you mastered technology thinking about others. And that is what makes a teacher so phenomenal. Hence, I'm asking you this question. Are you taking good care of yourself? You know, a cobbler lived in a very large village, but unfortunately, he was the only cobbler in town. So he was responsible to repair the footwear of everyone. However, being awfully busy, he didn't have time to repair his own chappals. I know interior designers who have not done the interiors of their house because they are too busy. I know website designers who have not created their own company's website because they're too busy with their clients. So this cobbler was also something similar. Awfully busy, he didn't have time to repair his own chappals. Initially, that was not a problem. But over time, his chappals began to wear out and fall apart. While he worked feverishly on everyone's footwear, his feet started getting blisters and he started to limp. His customers started to worry about him, but he reassured them that everything is okay. I know most of my teachers are women. You know, a woman's life and a man's life is very different. A man can wake up when he wants to. Let's say if he has to leave home around 9 o'clock, he can wake up at 8:15, and he can ask immediately, Nashta kidhar hai? Ready hai ki nahi? And nashta is given to the Maharaj of the house, and hadbad mein he'll have the nashta and he'll get out. In the night, he'll come around 8:30 and he'll say, I am very tired. He'll proclaim to everybody as if somebody has won the Oscars or the Grammy. And he will sit down in front of that box called the idiot box, take the remote in his hand, flip. Dinner around 8:30, 9:30, whenever he wants, because he's very tired. And then whenever he feels like, goes off to sleep. Just before sleeping, he might say to everybody, I'm feeling sleepy. And he goes off to sleep. A woman's life is not the same. She wakes up around 5:36, prepares nashta for everybody at home, maybe lunch also for everybody in the dabbas. Then hurry, she has to have some running breakfast. I've seen women doing running breakfast. They put one morsel in it, go and do one work and come back and put the other morsel in their mouth, run and come and third morsel in their mouth. They don't have morning mein time to sit with aram and have breakfast in 15-20 minutes. And then, of course, they go to school, teach. By the time they come back home, it's around 4:35, depending on the school timings. And then she has work at home. Children's education has to be taken care of. If you are blessed that your mother-in-law is supportive, she might have done the cutting and chopping and kept for you. And then she has to cook at home. And depending on how many devils you have, 1 or 2 children at home, the younger personal devils, then you have to take their studies. And invariably, they don't listen to you. And then you think, यार क्लास में 50 बच्चे सुनते मेरा, ये तो घरवाली क्यों नहीं सुनते पता नहीं. And you have no time to relax because dinner preparation is going on and Maharaj is about to come who might need one cup of chai. And then you serve everybody else at home. Maharaj has his things. And then when a woman says, I'm feeling sleepy, I'm going to sleep, it means sleep is still 20 to 30 minutes away. She'll go up and wind up the kitchen. Then she will see to it that the children have their bedsheet properly tucked up. Then she'll check all the locks, whether they are properly done or not. And then some chota mota things will be there to clean and keep things in place. And then she goes to sleep. And this goes on for days and weeks and months and years. So I understand that a woman's life is not easy. And therefore, in this hurry-burry of taking care of their family, their children, and their big bunch of children at school, sometimes they forget to take care of themselves. Just like those teachers, this cobbler also worked feverishly on everybody's footwear. His feet got blisters and he started to limp. His customers started to worry about him, but he reassured them what? Everything is okay. And I've seen this with my bhabhi, with my mother, with my wife. Darlings, do you need some rest? No, everything is okay. I'll manage. After a few years, the cobbler's feet were so badly injured that he could no longer move about or work, and no one's footwear got repaired. Soon, the entire town started to limp in pain, all because the cobbler never took the time to repair his own boots. The principle is very simple. If I am a responsible person and I am one of the most important links for people to live a good life, and if I do not take care of myself, after a while, my ability to do good comes down. My life becomes routine. I end up doing things which is more of a tick in the checklist rather than the heart which was involved in the beginning. My best intentions will mean nothing, and I will not be able to do what I'm meant to do. With experience, I have realized that in life, if I don't take time to take care of myself, no one else will. And what is the best way to take care of yourself? To do some things on a daily basis, which makes you very happy. For me to listen to music makes me very happy. For me to stand in the balcony of my house and just look at the greenery outside makes me very happy. And don't tell my doctor or my wife, but when I eat bourbon biscuit, it makes me very happy. The thought of a bourbon biscuit brings a smile on my face. So here is a simple question to all of you, and you can use the chat box to give the answers. What is that one thing that you can do or you do on a daily basis, which kind of releases your stress and makes you very, very happy. And you should be able to do it in less than 5 minutes. Sing, dance, art, sit silent, meditate, meditation, music, teaching, yoga. Amazing. Just sitting in silence, right? Outstanding, outstanding. Evening walk. Wow, lovely. Writing, brilliant. Zumba. Amazing. Singing all shout. Did I just see somebody writing shouting? Oh, that can be a good therapy, but I'm concerned if it has to happen on a daily basis. Trekking is another brilliant thing to do. Super brain yoga. Super brain yoga. Do you know about Pramod Tripathi, who is promoting super brain yoga a lot nowadays? And it is actually good stuff. Amazing. I love the answers which are coming, all heartfelt, all practical, all simple, all doable. Cooking. All of you who relax through cooking, I will give you my personal number. If you cook veg food, I love eating veg food. I will invite myself to your house, no problem. Provided you don't have enough people to enjoy. If I will be a headache to you, then we will meet on the screen itself. But if you love to feed people and you don't have anybody who can appreciate, please do call me. जिंजर टी ना मतलब एकदम सही में मतलब वो पी के ना एकदम दिल खुश हो जाता है. Now what we are going to do is 2001 Keep Moving movement realized that teachers are doing incredible stuff, and I'll come to that bit in a little bit. And probably nobody is able to see the greatness of their efforts. And determined to do something about it. In 2001, we started Keep Moving movement. And this program today, this interaction today, is also a result of the same desire. So thank you so much for being here today. Your presence today has made my day. You know, last 2 days I was out of town. Today I came in the afternoon. Couldn't have proper sleep in the last 2 nights. But there was no tiredness because I'm going to have a date with all of you. And since we have a capacity in the Zoom for only 500 of us are over here, but another 3,500 are there on our website right now, watching it on kmm.org. Today's session will be a very interactive session. And the first thing that we did was a very regular, simple, Zoom-based, chat-based interaction. But my friends who are there on the website won't be able to enjoy this. So we are going to do something for them also. Next interaction is going to use a little bit of more fancy technology. And I'll come to that also in a little bit. Before we go into the details of the program, let me share with you why my love, my admiration, and my respect for teachers is so high. Today, I'm reasonably successful in life. Today, I'm blessed with a brilliant family. Today, we are also blessed with an extraordinary force of volunteers in Keep Moving movement. Today, I believe I have a good life, really good life. But I'll tell you that it was not so a few years ago. And when I say a few years ago, I'm speaking about my childhood. I was shy, a little scared of people, on the border of being an introvert. Till my class 8 standard, I've always dreamt that somehow I will grow up, become a chartered accountant, and earn a little for my family. I have God-given grasping powers, so I could always do well in school. In other words, I have always come first in my class. But not because of hard work. It was sheer God-given grasping power. If the teachers explain something, I'm able to grasp it, and there was no need to go and do revision also. In class 9, I decided to take an optional subject called bookkeeping. In class 9 in West Bengal, we had to take an optional subject. The options were bookkeeping and embroidery. And I was not going to go into embroidery. So I took bookkeeping. First session, Dr. Professor Ghosh. He enters into the classroom, tells all of us, good to see you here, but today might be a miserable day for some of you. And then he says, why are you here inside my classroom? And Dr. Professor Ghosh is about 6 feet 2 inches, towering personality, booming voice. Obviously, all of us said that we want to become chartered accountants, otherwise, why is somebody in accounts class? And then he asked, those of you who came first and second in class, please stand up. Me, Sanjay Sharma, Jatinder Pal Singh Grewal, Reena Bhatt, and Sanjeev Joshi. Five of us stood up. We were a co-educational school, so Reena was, one lady would also come second in one of the classes. And then he asked 5 of us, what do you want to do in the future? See, in class 9, we had thought about being a chartered accountant. अब chartered accountant बनने के बाद में क्या करेंगे उतना नहीं सोचा था. But spontaneously, all of us blabbered some answer. And my blabbered answer was, I want to have an office with 25 people working for me. My uncle was another leading chartered accountant and he had 18 people working for him. That's the biggest I knew. So I said 25 people working for me. And then the first and probably the second time I've ever been fired by a teacher. Dr. Professor Ghosh started firing the 5 of us. You guys are idiots. You are nincompoops. You have no brains. In fact, looking at you, I believe God has no brains. Because if God has brains, why will he give brains to people like you? You are completely useless. And we were shocked. We were first in class, second in class. I am saying I'll have an office of 25 people, the largest the CA can have, and he's blasting us. And then he told, all of you at the end of the session leave, but these 5 idiots are going to stay back. Trust me, I've never been angry at a teacher in my life, but that day I was. So what does he think of himself? I don't want to come to this class. And everybody left and the 5 of us were there. Now with a softness on his face, he looks at us and says, you guys are smart. And if smart people are not ambitious, and if your ambition is not related to the country, then how will this country prosper? If people who are scoring 95% will think about having somehow a CA degree, then who's going to take care of this country? I was still zapped. I had no idea what he wants. And then he said, how high can a chartered accountant go? I knew a friend's father was the CFO of a company, so I blurted out, CFO. He said, no. A chartered accountant can be the finance minister of our country, and a CA can go on to become the governor of the RBI. Anyway, you have to create balance sheets. Why not for the whole country? And he looked at us and said, if you think giving brains to you was not a mistake, dream big, be ambitious, and whatever you do, think that your work is going to make this country a better place to live in. Five minutes ago, all 5 of us were very angry at him. 5 minutes later, all 5 of us were stupefied. Nobody had ever shown so much belief in us. Nobody had ever told us that we are smart, we are capable, we can go to the top of our country, we can change the destiny of our nation. Kisi ne ye sab baat nahi kiya. Till then, the thinking was, boss, a smart person should grow up, earn some money and earn a name for himself or herself in this society. Bas, aur kuch nahi. This nation building work and all somebody else will do. But sir left a mark. Today we have two brilliant initiatives. One, of course, is Keep Moving movement that where every year we are touching about 40,000 human lives. This year we might touch 70,000 children's lives. But the goal is, in the next 3 years, by 2025, we should be able to impact 1 million lives every year. Because imagine the volume of our work. This country has about 8 to 10 crore children who are going in class 9th and 10th in our country. Out of that, if we impact even 10 lakh lives, we are talking about touching 1% of people. But then I am from Calcutta, and I read that Swami Vivekananda had said, to create a revolution, you don't need 100 people. To create a revolution, you need just 1% people. The number of people who participated in India's freedom struggle was not the masses, but just 1% people. If 1% people are willing to take responsibility, they will pull the 99% with them. And hence we are thinking, if we can impact 1 million lives, that day I will tell Dr. Professor Ghosh, I am a good student of yours. I can't be a chartered accountant because I couldn't study that stream. I have no desire to be a politician and therefore the finance minister. But I have the ambition of making a difference to this world. And that is where I need your help. I am what I am because of my teachers. If Dr. Professor Ghosh had not had that conversation with me that day, we wouldn't be having this conversation today. If he had not ignited in me a belief that you can do something for the nation, we wouldn't have started Keep Moving movement. If he had not told me that if you believe he has done the right thing for you, then you will do something top class, I would have been happy to earn a little money and lie in the glory of wealth without doing anything meaningful in my life. We believe that every teacher impacts at least 300 children's life every year. You must be having 5 or 6 periods every day. Every class on an average 50 children. So 300 children every year minimum. And if you have about 33, 34 years of teaching life, you yourself are impacting more than 10,000 children's lives. And if you can join hands with Keep Moving movement and say, we are going to spread this mission far and wide. Because today, what is missing in children is life skills. How to handle fear, how to handle setbacks, how to dream big, how to handle a heartbreak, how to select friends, how to stay focused. Nobody teaches them this. As a result of which, some of them might go on to become rich. Their standard of life will improve, but their quality of life may not. With this as the intention, we said, let's have a conversation with teachers. And I'm not going to ask much from you today. I'm going to share a few thoughts. I'm blessed because I was a product of an extraordinary teacher called Dr. Professor Ghosh. And I know he's not there in this world anymore. But in you, I feel his presence. And hence, thank you so much for being a teacher. Thank you so much for being a teacher and creating people like me. I remember I was in Bombay a few months ago taking a session for their school teachers. And one of the teachers told me, Naren, do you know how uncooperative children are? Do you know the kind of pain they give to us? Do you know some of them actually make us cry? And I said, yes, I know that. We had some children like that in our class also when we were students. But inside that class, there was also this boy called Naren. There was also this guy called Jatinder Pal Singh Grewal, who today is a director in Mahindra Finance. And many such youngsters were there inside the classroom who have gone on to achieve stellar heights in their life. Inside your class, today there is a child who one day might go on to become somebody like APJ Abdul Kalam. Inside your class today, there might be a child whose future is not studies, but he might go on to become a Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Inside your class, there may be a child who is not made for studies because he's not able to pay attention or understand what is being happening. But he might be an A.R. Rahman in the making. There are some children who will excel through studies and go on to create a future through academics. But I very deeply believe that every child is a huge bundle of potential. And when somebody sows in them self-belief, when somebody shows to them that I see some greatness in you, one day you will do something significant. Even if you don't know what they will do, but if they can see that somebody sees it in them, trust me, one of those days in the right moment, in the right way, in the right time, they are going to think about you, keep you in their mind, and take some big decisions and make a huge impact in this world. The future of the whole world right now is in the schools. The future of the whole world right now is in the schools. 40 years later, somebody will become the Chief Justice of India. Right now is in some classroom, in some school, somewhere. The Prime Minister of the country, 40 years down the line, is right now studying in school somewhere. Which means all those people who are going to drive our country, who are going to create the future destiny, are right now in some school, in some teacher's class. And not necessarily they are coming first and second. Not necessarily they are most well behaved. Not necessarily they are very cooperative. But they are there in your class. So in some way, even if somebody is a troublemaker, if they get for you something like, I believe in you. आज तेरा मन नहीं है पढ़ाई में, but I believe in you. Today you seem to be distracted, but one day you will get tremendous focus. Right now looks like you are doing poorly in maths, but in the calculations of life, I'm sure you will create perfect, zero defect, extraordinary results. And if these children see that somebody believes in them so much, it just might become the turning point of their life. Is it easy? I don't know. Is it doable? Yes. Will you get cooperation from children? I don't know again. But someday will somebody be praying for you? Yes. You know, there is a saying, जब दवा काम नहीं आती है तब दुआ काम आती है. और दुआओं के मामले में अगर आपको अमीर बनना है ना, कि यार इस इंसान के लिए इतने लोग दुआ करते हैं, बाकियों का मालूम नहीं. I think that huge opportunity lies with teachers. So thank you so much for being a teacher. Wish you all the best in your life as a teacher. And now to take this session ahead in a slightly interactive way, let me ask you some very candid questions. I want to take a deep insight in your experience. And based on whatever appeals or whatever appears to be the truth to you, in a very, very candid way, no holds barred whatsoever, no hesitation whatsoever, I'll ask you some questions and I would request you to give the answers to those questions. They are very easy questions and most of the time you have to give just one-word answers. My first question is, what change do you see in students after the pandemic? You know, before the pandemic, there used to be a kind of rhythm, regularity, predictability in teaching subjects, students, and then the pandemic hit. And then for close to 2 years, things were complicated. I'm going to ask my colleague Aditya to please share a link with you. And I request you to click on that link and type your one-word answer there. Adi? Adi. Just see, Adi has just typed it over there. What change do you see in students after the pandemic? And then he's given a URL, www.menti.com. If you can just click on that. And I request Joe or Tahira, since you have the WhatsApp numbers of most teachers, could you just share the link in the WhatsApp broadcast list also for all the other teachers to click and participate? Menti.com. What change do you see there? And can you share with me the password which is required? Is there a password? No password. Okay. Though it says you can submit multiple answers, but just give one answer and let's see what happens. Lots of behavioral problem, lazy, lethargic, fear, techno addict, restless, unfocused. Beautiful variety, no? Adi, can you share with us? So, you know, it's a very beautiful tool that is there, where as you give the answers dynamically, it keeps changing. And based on the words which has been used most of the times, that word cloud keeps on getting bigger. And in real time, it is changing in case somebody is keying in some words. So lack of concentration seems to be a huge issue. Unfocused is kind of one of the same. Restless seems to be a new thing. Impatience, indiscipline, lack of confidence, disrespectful, etc., etc. But if I have to look into 5 or 6 big things, lack of concentration, unfocused, restless, indisciplined, lack of confidence, and disrespectful. Thanks a ton, Adi. Thanks a ton, my darling teachers. And I love my teachers, so I call them darling teachers. So thank you so much. I know sometimes teachers tell me that nobody else calls us darling. I'm not Shah Rukh Khan, but I can always say, main hu na. Beautiful, beautiful. So thank you so much. This will be a big insight. And right now, Joe, who is the head, heart, and soul of Keep Moving movement, is doing a research on the effect of the pandemic on the youth. And we are also attempting to create a program based on the feedbacks that we receive from you, on which we are going to create the sessions for the students in times to come. So that's how the circle becomes complete. Here is the next question. So I'm going to ask you 3 or 4 questions right now. Today, it is also very fashionable to say what is not okay. Parents are not okay. Students are not okay. And I assume 99% people present over here are teachers. So principal is not okay. Some principals are also there. So I said it very softly. All the principals who are here, they have no complaints against you whatsoever. Okay. We are only talking about the others. Okay. Here is a very simple word cloud for all of you. Again, the same kind of an exercise, and again, the same kind of a word cloud will come. Like nobody knows what is the type answer you have typed, right? So you can be absolutely bindas. What would happen if we spoke largely about negative and bad things in life? So there Adi has just shared with us the question and the link. What would happen if we spoke mostly negative and bad things about life? Think about us now. Forget about being a teacher, being a mother, being a father. Forget about all that. What would happen if we mostly speak about negative and bad things in life? Click on that and give the answer. And Adi, whenever you're ready, if you can share the word cloud with us, let's see how this is growing. I really like this game which happens. Beautiful. Technology is marvelous, isn't it? Can you see how the winner demotivated is sitting right in the center as a royal emperor, and all the navgrahs are rotating around. Everybody else is coming, but demotivation wins. Depression is quite close to it. Depressed and depression together might be giving a run for demotivation. Demotion, depressed, negativity spreads. Did I see the word suicide also somewhere? Yeah. Depressed, demotivated, depressed, depression, negativity spreads. Wow. Confidence is lost. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So what I hear is lack of confidence, negativity, demotivated, depressed. That is another very, very interesting insight from at least 500 of my darling teachers present over here. And the word crowd is growing, but demotivated is not demotivated at all. It stands very strong as the number one quality. Negativity is coming very close. Now you see 4 or 5 words largely entering the complete central arena of focus. Beautiful. It's so ugly to say beautiful to this word, but okay. The insights have been revealing, let's say, are interesting. Again, thank you so much for participating. Hey, Adi, do you also know the number of teachers who are giving in the insights? Just for the sake of curiosity, that's all. Burden of non-academic activities, productivity reduces, negativity aspects. Absolutely. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that brings me to a very interesting third dimension. What is resilience? Resilience is the emotional or inner strength that one possesses that enables one to cope with difficult circumstances. In other words, resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. All of us have our good days and bad days. Some of you may have it, I don't have it. What is called as the bad hair day. The advantage of being bald. And I can say Mukundan Krishna Swami also, to an extent, bald. On a closer look, I'll know better. Hi, sir. Eppadi irkeenga? Ramon nalla irkeenga? I know a little bit of Tamil, and I'm seeing Nandini with a beautiful smile. So, Nandini, আপনি কেমন আছেন? খুব ভালো। আমি কলকাতা ছেলে, তো আমরা বাংলায় কথা বলবো। একদিন কলকাতায় আসবো আর বাংলায় পুরো কথা বলবো। পুরো সেশন বাংলায় দেব।
ঠিক আছে স্যার।
ঠিক আছে না? আচ্ছা, খুব ভালো। আপনি হোস্ট করবেন আমাকে। Now Nandini. Oh my God. Okay. And sorry, I don't know how to speak in any other language, Marathi, Gujarati, and not very comfortable. All of us have good days and bad days. Some of you have bad hair day also. However, on some other days, we create beautiful memories. And when we recall those memories, instant smile appears on our face. I believe it is supremely critical to have such beautiful memories. Consciously making our days beautiful helps us in living a peaceful life. So how do I handle my daily issues, daily struggles, daily challenges? By consciously putting effort in creating some little beauty piece of island in my own world. If we can do that, all these negativity, stress, demotivation, depression, we can say bye-bye to them. So on a brighter note, now let me ask all of you this question. What is that one good memory that you have after the schools reopened post-pandemic? Post-pandemic, when you've gone back to school, when you're not Fulan Devi or, that masked bandit, when everybody knows who is behind that mask, what is that one good experience that you have been having? Smiling faces of the children, no? Yeah. What is the one good thing that has happened after the schools have started physical sessions? You can speak about yourself, you can speak about children, you can speak about anything which comes to your mind. Aditya, thank you very much. You're doing something very smart. After every 10-15 comments, he's pasting the link again. In case somebody, Sasuma said, Mera chai kidhar hai? And they just went to give chai and they forgot the link. By the time they've come back, some comments have come. No, they don't have to scroll. Adi, very good. Adi is a young star over here, very, very young guy who helps us in executing this work. And he's a technology man. I know Adi will be a very, very good husband. Adi, you have blessings of all the teachers present over here for a great married life whenever you get married. So what is the one good thing that has happened after the schools have started physical sessions? My God, I could have never anticipated the center of the answer, smiling faces of children. I told you, you are digitally a master today because you thought about your children in the school and you adapted and learned so fast. Oof, look at this, so beautiful. The interactions, the happiness all around, the happy faces, the smiling faces. My God, if only the children would have seen this slide. And I think we are going to do something. We want this slide for the children. That we were speaking with more than 500 teachers online and enough of our friends on the website. And what has come up to us directly is that the smiling, happy faces of children is the best thing that has happened to the teachers post-pandemic. Yeah, that's a beautiful thought, that it has helped us to be a kid again with the kid. Now, those of you who are on the website, do you see on top of the screen right now, there is something called go to menti.com and use the code 42860059. So if you go to menti.com, they will ask you for a code. You put in that code and this exercise will come up for you. I'm sorry, my darling friend, those of you who are on the website, you have to do a little extra work, but please bear with me and cooperate with this. Our license was only for 500 and next time we'll probably have the license for 1,000 or 2,000 teachers. Amazing, smiling faces of children, happy faces of children, happiness, happiness, happiness. Interaction, amazing, beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, darling teachers. What an extraordinary thing. Now, since I'm seeing some extraordinary depth in what you're saying, let me ask you a question in a different dimension. There is this amazing human being who's influenced me a lot, whose name is Nipun Mehta. He runs something called the service circles, if my memory is right. Based in US, made a lot of money in tech, and then they decided to do something at the grassroots level for people. And I think he started something called as the service centers. He has a very powerful concept. He says there are many different kinds of wealth. The wealth that all of us know and understand is the wealth of money. Then there is another wealth called the wealth of health. Another wealth is kindness. And who will know it more than teachers? A heart which is filled with kindness is a very, very, very wealthy person. It belongs to a very, very wealthy person. Then obviously, again, teachers, knowledge. Anybody today who has the power of knowledge and a great network can bring about profound transformation. Anybody who has knowledge and the power of network can bring about profound transformation. 400 active volunteers impacting 40,000 lives. We have some knowledge and we have a good network. And because of this network, we are able to reach out to 4,000 teachers. And through these 4,000 teachers, we should be able to reach out to 10 lakh plus children. See how network expands? And somebody might have 1 crore with them. They don't have this network. Even if they want to do something, they won't know where to go and how to start. And some of you must have been a teacher for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And your students would have gone on to reach significant places. So the kind of knowledge and network you have, if you can give it some kind of a focus or movement, a purpose in a direction, you can bring about a profound change. So one kind of wealth is money, one is health, one is kindness, one is knowledge, one is purpose, one is impact, one is love, one is peace. Here is a question, a deep question, and think about it. As a teacher, where do you feel wealthy, which makes everything worth it all? You know, you might have a younger brother, younger sister who's earning 5 times more than what you're earning. They might have bigger cars, bigger homes. They might have better holidays, etc., etc. And you have decided to take up teaching as an expression of your life. Economically, you will be able to survive and do decently well. But you may not be able to buy a 2 BHK or a 3 BHK through your income. Shayad nahi ho payega. But that does not mean you're not wealthy. So that's my question. As a teacher, where do you feel wealthy? What do you think makes it worth it all? Adi, could you share the link? You have. As a teacher, where do you feel worthy? What makes it worth it all? Yeah. If my student child hugs me saying, I love you, ma'am. Yeah, Shilpa, I can imagine that. How beautiful it would be, no? And you must be an exceptional teacher. That happens. Bhavna with children, satisfaction, joy on the kids' face when they learn new things. Yes, Yasmin. It's so incredible, no? Their face just brightens up. What a feeling. What a feeling. Hey, darling. Adi, can you share with us the screen if something is happening on the screen? Students' progress of students, with students, love with kids, sharing knowledge, teaching points when students are getting progress. Amazing. Amazing. So much about what we feel wealthy is about the impact that we are leaving behind, isn't it? Students' achievement, all stress flows away while I'm with my children. That time I feel really wealthy. Shubhana, so true, so true. Yeah, when student understands and responds, my purpose is solved. Love all my children like a mother, yeah. affection. Yeah. And some of you, if you're teaching class 9th and 10th children, you must be also solving by now love issues, no? Heartbreaks, and some money issues, and some personal life issues, which children might be having about their parents, their siblings. Amazing. Hats off, my darling teachers. I feel so blessed that I am with you and we are having this interaction together. Just too good, just too good. Job satisfaction, isn't it? Students' progress. Beautiful. So beautiful. So beautiful. Amazing. My mind goes to something that I have read a few weeks ago. In December 1962, before Abraham Lincoln gave his second annual address to the Congress, where he wanted to appeal to abolish slavery, Abraham Lincoln wrote, "The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate for the stormy present. The occasion is piled high with difficulty." He writes, as our case is new, so we must think new and act anew. And then he writes a statement which kind of magnetized my attention. He writes, we must disenthrall ourselves and then we shall save our country. I love this word, disenthrall. What he meant was that we all live our lives guided by ideas to which we are devoted. Some of these ideas may not be even true or relevant. We are hypnotized by those ideas. In other words, we are enthralled by those ideas. Children should respect us. Darling teachers, it's a little outdated idea. Today, unfortunately, respect does not come automatically. My children don't respect me automatically. There was a time when in relationships, age, education, seniority would automatically give respect. Today, it's not so. Today, the way we live our life makes people decide whether we are respect worthy or not. So today, age does not give us the respect. It's not age, but courage. It is not rage, but courage, which seems to get admiration. If the teacher has a grip on the subject and can take the children on a journey of discovery with excitement and jokes and celebrations, in other words, if we can entertain the children, then the children respect us. Otherwise, the Zoom will go off. They will have something else to do. They become busy on WhatsApp on their phones and stuff like that. So when Abraham Lincoln wrote, disenthrall, what he meant was all our lives we live guided by certain ideas to which we are devoted. Some of these ideas may no longer be relevant. We are enthralled by those ideas. To move forward, we have to shake free of them. Darling teachers, given the challenges we face now, the most profound shift has to be in how we think of our own abilities and those of our children. How we think about our own abilities and those of our children. As a teacher, how do you define your ability? Is it restricted to completing the topics or the subjects? Is it restricted to covering and completing the portion and the chapters? Is it restricted to teaching in a way where at least some children will be extraordinary, most children will be above average? How do you define your own ability and those of the children inside your classroom? In my experience as a life coach, and I'm being very candid with all of you, and please allow me to be candid. In my experience as a life coach, most people have no idea about their real capabilities and talents. Too many think they are very ordinary, they are not special. Too many think they have no special talent at all. And keep moving movements premises, we are all born with immense natural talents. But too few discover those, and even fewer develop them properly. And ironically, there are only two reasons for this miss. One main reason for this massive waste of talent is the very process that is meant to develop it, and that is parenting. And the second reason, the very process that is meant to develop it, is education. Education is one of these topics that runs very deep with people, like religion, like politics, like sex, like money. And it should. Education is vital to the success of our working lives, to our children's future, and to long-term national global development. Did you know that before the middle of the 19th century, relatively few people had any kind of formal education? Being educated was mainly the privilege of a very few who could afford it. Mass systems of public education were developed primarily to meet the needs of the Industrial Revolution. And that is why they mirror the principles of Industrial Revolution. Indulge me just for 2 minutes. Industrial Revolution emphasizes on linearity, conformity, and standardization. Linearity, which means one way. Conformity, everybody should do what is ordered and expected. Standardization, the same way things should be done, the way they have always worked in the past. Linearity, conformity, and standardization. And why is the world in a chaos? Why do you see extreme right wing taking over the government almost in every country of the world? Why is it such an economic disparity between the top 1% of the world, which has 90% of the world's wealth, and then the 99% of the world, which has only 10% of the world's wealth? The reason for this is today's world needs organic growth, adaptability, and diversity. What the education system is trained to give us is linearity, which means go on one path. What today's world wants is organic. From wherever things can be taken, take it. The education system says conformity. This is what is expected, deliver to that. But business is changing so fast, it needs us to be adaptable. The education system says, let everything be standard. So books are standard, exams are standard. And what people need, the students need, the future needs is diversity. Our teachers, that is you, have a doubly hard task. Your task is not easy. Your task is extremely difficult. Because your job no more is about helping people improve their reading, writing, mathematics. But through these subjects, through teaching, we also need to teach them collaboration, creativity, resilience. We are not going to create a great nation without children having these qualities. And because the kids look up to teachers as super smart and knowledgeable people, the support of teachers is paramount to the future of our country. Yesterday, I was in Bombay as a part of a very huge conference. And I was stunned to listen to this man called Ashish Dhawan. Ashish is one of the most successful investors in our country. And his personal net worth is about 2,100 crores right now. Only. Please add only after that. 2,100 crores only. He has set up an NGO called Central Square Foundation, who wishes to make every child in the schools experts in reading, writing, mathematics. And they're working with a few lakh children across the country. And when he was asked why from investing he's shifting to education, his answer stunned me. He said, I'm an investor and I calculate returns. To me, investing on the future of children will give me the highest return on investment. If a child can be educated properly, the kind of returns he'll give, no share will give to me, no company will give to me. Compared to the effort we put to nurture an organization, a business, if that effort is given to nurture children, the return of efforts will also be huge, humongous. My darling teachers, here is something from my heart. And give the next 5 to 7 minutes to me. In our personal lives, we are ambitious. In my personal life, I'm very ambitious. I want to have an extraordinary car, a huge house, holidays to the best places in the world. I want to wear the best of clothes, the best of phones, the best of laptop, the best of watch. I'm very ambitious. In our social lives also, we are ambitious. We want to be well known. We want to be respected. We want to be acknowledged. We want a lot of validation. We want people to respect us and say, you are a good person. You are doing beautiful work. I'm ambitious. What if my teachers become ambitious? Can teachers dare to be ambitious? What do you mean by that? 4 years ago, I was invited to Sholapur on the 75th anniversary celebrations of a school. And there were about 1,500 parents in front and about 1,000 other dignitaries. And I had to speak for about 20 minutes. And the organizers were very clear that, see, this school has a lot of achievements to their credit. We have a DGP police, we have 4 MLAs, we have this and we have that. So, our teachers are very capable. So I went to the dais and asked them, what kind of a teacher is required for a child to go on to become a Bharat Ratna tomorrow? What kind of a teacher is required for a child to go on to become a Padma Shri in times to come? What kind of a teacher will be required for somebody to create a business where the whole world is a customer of an Indian product instead of Indians wanting to buy a McDonald's somewhere or look at Netflix movies? They're all good and great. But how about a Indian businessman thinking, I want to create a global brand where all over the world people will come to an Indian restaurant or buy an Indian khadi product. And what kind of a teacher is required to nurture some kind of an ambition in the children like this? Can you and me stand inside the classroom and look at a child and dream that this child will go on to become a Padma Shri? And imagine, one day a child of yours goes on to become a Padma Shri. And in their speech of acceptance in the parliament, they speak about your name. Imagine that child telling, I'm from Pune, and in my school there was a principal whose name was Renuka Datta. And one day, as she was crossing me in the corridors, she looked at me, touched my head, ruffled my hair, and she said, there is something very special about you. You will do something worthwhile for the country. And that has stuck with me. If that teacher had not looked at me and believed in me, I probably wouldn't be where I am. When I was in school, class 5, 6, if my class teacher will ask me to clean the board, those days blackboard and chalk, with chalk we used to write. If the class teacher asks me to clean the board and the chalk dust will fall over me, I would still be so proud of myself because among the 40 children in the class, Miss only asked me. If a teacher will ask somebody to carry the homework books to the staff room, it might be a punishment because the teacher says, go calm those. But the child will feel acknowledged and recognized. Miss knows me by name and she told me, go and live in the classroom. Do you have any idea about the power you have? Do you know what your kind word can do to a child? Do you know when you look at somebody with belief, and even if you don't know what they will do in life, if you just pass on your belief, the child may not know how to respond. The child may not say thank you. They may not go gaga. But at the right time, in their life, in a right way, your words will become the lighthouse to them. Do you have any idea about how powerful you are? You may be like a Hanuman who does not know its power. And a Jambuwant looks at Hanuman and says, you can jump from India to Sri Lanka. Hanuman says, Acha, okay, if you say so. And he jumps. Do you have any idea how powerful you are? The biggest of industrialists can set up the best of colleges and maybe a school. But the soul of that school is the teachers. The greatness of the children do not come from the infrastructure. The school where I studied, Hartley's High School, Calcutta, was a 100-year-old structure, and in the Britishers' time, it used to be a stable for horses. It was a stable for horses. In ironical note, maybe that's why it created so many stable people. We didn't have any hall, only classrooms. And there were no walls between the classrooms. What one teacher is teaching, the other classroom is able to hear. It was not infrastructure we created, some amazing people there. It was the teachers. And children don't look back to their school days and say, oh, I miss my school so much because I had AC classroom. Oh, I miss my school so much because the stairs were very wide. I miss my school. They miss the school for the teachers. And all the children have that one teacher that they know who was super fond of them. And these children come back to the school in search of that teacher. And now that they have grown up, maybe they have come for their wedding invitation and they might say that, ma'am, we are getting married and I'm sorry, I really troubled you in school. And you also might cry and say, oh my God, you have become so big now. And I'm going to teach your children also. And then you might hug them and both of you might cry. And that's the beauty of a teacher's life. Now that boy and girl may not go to anybody else, but it will definitely come to the teachers. You have no idea how powerful you are. And if you know how powerful you are, an interesting question is, are you ambitious enough? Do you realize what an amazing leverage you have over the future of our country? Visualize you are having 300 children, and with these 300 children, you can create the future of our country. And you have 300 children every year. You know what is the power you have? I bet my life, if teachers become ambitious about the country, if you, like Dr. Professor Ghosh, is ambitious about the children inside his classroom, that why don't you think of becoming the governor of RBI and the finance minister of our country? He didn't even say become the gold medalist in CA. He's not bothered about my marks. He's bothered about my impact. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. And this time it's not a one-word answer. This time you give the answer in one sentence. And I'm going to treasure and read your answers multiple times. And I'm also going to tell you what I'm going to do. In the next 15 minutes, we are going to do some things by which we are going to create a book. And all of us are going to be the authors of that book. That book essentially will be born out of all the interactions that we have done today. That I have insights from you on what is happening. All that we have discussed till now is about the past. And it's time for us to shift a little focus on the future. I can't promise you great money. I can't promise you great wealth. I can't promise you abundance when it comes to things money can buy. But the soldier at the border is willing to die without thinking about personal wealth. They give in a mission to their life. Similarly, if teachers give a mission to their life, my job is not to complete the portion and to help my children pass or for them to get 100 out of 100. I am the creator of the future of my country. In my classroom are incredible children who are going to become role models and create an extraordinary destiny for Bharat. If this kind of an ambition is what you nurture, and it is these kind of teachers who will create the future. See, the industrialists won't create the future of the country. They are busy in becoming rich. The politicians won't create the future. They somehow have to hold on to power. The bureaucrats won't create the future of the country. They are busy in taking care of their portfolios. The professionals won't create the future of the country. They have to take care of their needs. So if all of them are not creating the future of the country, who's creating the future of the country? Chance or choice? Anyway, you are teachers. Anyway, you will go to school. Anyway, you will teach. Anyway, you have awesome possibilities of influencing the children. So why not become ambitious about our country? My appeal to you is, it's only you who can play a critical role. And the second irony of today's session is nobody will recognize your contribution. And when those people succeed, there will be 100 more people who will lay claim to them. They will know in their hearts it was you. So if this silent love and respect is good enough for you, then you are ready to be a revolutionary. And that is why the title of this program is Teachers, the Silent Revolutionaries. While your work involves speaking, but your deeds, your results will be largely silent. अपने देश में ना हिंदी में कहावत है, नेकी कर दरिया में डाल. That is the life of a teacher. So here comes my next question. Think about it if you want for 30 seconds and then give the answer. Where would you like to see India in 2030, just 8 years down the line? And I'm asking you 2030 and not 2047 because I assume 2030 तो अपन सब जिंदा रहने वाले. Okay. And now today we have a pact. None of you can go away before 2030. 1st of January 2031, your choice. But 2030 तक तो अपने को रहने का इधर. Where would you like to see India in 2030? And more importantly, the role you would play is, or the role you would play as a teacher is. Ambition के साथ, डर के नहीं. Where would you like to see India in 2030? The role you would play is. Beautiful. And I would also like to know what is the role you would play. What would be your contribution? The role of a teacher motivating students to be kind human beings. India would be the best place for education. Amazing. Amazing. Tell me about what you would like to do, your role. And my efforts to achieve the target with all my students. Amazing. Nurture the future. Beautiful. Humanity matters. Yes, it does matter. Tell me what is the role you would like to play. Corruption-free country. Amazing. What is the role you would like to play? The role I would like to play is to cater to the needs of specially challenged children, something different. Outstanding. Nurture the future. Nurture the future. I'm sure you meant future. What a rhyme, future and future. My role would be to bring them the truth and unite them as one. Outstanding. Being a teacher, I'll motivate my students to be a part of leading India, free from racism and casteism. Beautiful. Work for orphan children. Amazing. एक ऐसा देश जहां सब अपने जीवन का सर्वश्रेष्ठ पा सके. Beautiful. A country where there is no poverty. Nurture students in a way which will help them to think about ways in which to achieve it. Brilliant. 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 Adi, do we have one more question? Last one, no? "94 people have shared till now, 96. There are some of them who are writing it in the chat box. I'm assuming there are some which would have come to us directly on WhatsApp. As an educational superpower and generating more jobs, 1 rupee is equal to $100. I love that. You are my desired finance minister. Spread education to my full capacity. Excellent. Excellent. Darling teachers, thank you so much. I'm very, very grateful to you for all your thoughts and the open heart with which you have been sharing. Amazing. This is a very, very difficult question to answer. And it is so exciting to see so many of you sharing your answers. Let the answers keep coming. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. So in 7 minutes, I have to wind everything up. And before I have realized, 90 minutes is over. So I have to jump to the conclusion of what I wanted to talk now. Let us all together write a book. All of you who contribute, we would love to acknowledge you as co-authors. It might be the first book in the world with 500 authors, but it will be good fun. And I'll tell you what's the idea here. We will make it as an ebook so that it can be distributed to as many people wherever they want free. And then we'll see how is it that we can create a beautiful movement around it. All that we have done so far in today's session is taking me to the final part of today's session. What do I want from you? What do I need from you? What do children need from you? What does the future need from you? Here is a challenge to you. Every teacher has in them an extraordinary ability or a technique or an approach which seems to help them click with the children. We had a teacher called Mrs. Mitali Ray in school, and she used to take us home, and we used to stay in her house for one night if we have done well in class. She was our class teacher. And one night a year, about 20, 25 children will be doing chow mau, chow mau, chow mau inside the house. And we would see Miss that night in a very different avatar. She'll be that classic wife, housewife, mother, neighbor. She's not a Miss anymore. And we see a very different part of her. And it used to be so exciting and enthralling that we have seen that part of Mrs. life which 300 more children have not seen. So children will stretch themselves because we want to be one of those who stays in Mrs. house. I don't know how easy or difficult it was for Miss, but it was super exciting for us. My class 10 class teacher, Mrs. Sapna Ghosh, who changed my life, and one of those days when we have more time, I'll speak about that darling teacher of ours. She used to take us on a picnic, full day picnic, where she will also pay her share and we will also pay our share. So it was not heavy on anybody. One year, the principal said not allowed, and she said, I will resign if you require, if you don't allow the teachers to go. And then if you want, take me in again. But I have promised to my children and I'm going to take them. She took the principal head on and she took all the children to a picnic. And in the picnic, she will sing and she will dance with all of us. And it was like mesmerizing, mesmerizing. Our biology sir, Dr. Ashok Ganguly, used to crack jokes. And he would have a jokes competition. And it used to be so fun. Every session, last 5 minutes would be joke competition. People ask me, where do I get my sense of humor from? Somewhere the admiration for Dr. Ashok Ganguly, my God, yaar, aisa banna hai. And if he's in the staff room, there will be only laughter from the staff room. So teachers have their unique way. They have not learned this in B.Ed, M.Ed, etc., etc. But somewhere they have uncovered or discovered or shaped or invented something. And that is what I'm looking for. Let's say 500 of you online and another couple of thousand who are there on the website. Can you share with us that as a teacher, what others can learn from you? What is working for you? If I'm Dr. Ashok Ganguly, I would say, what is working for me is these 5 minutes of jokes with the children. Everybody becomes equal. The child who fails is also able to crack a joke and become a hero. Therefore, nobody in my class ever believes that they're not good enough. Everybody has something to give. And it was like, wow, how deep, how profound, how majestic. Here is a challenge. Is there something that you believe you do which others can get inspired by or others can copy from you? May I request Joe or Tahira to just key in a number and an email ID where the teachers can share their insights. A phone number or an email ID or a Google Doc in the next 1 or 2 minutes, which the teachers can copy. And I'll be so blessed if I can get 100, 125, 150. What works for you? Curate it, create it into something beautiful, get a few artists involved, and create a book. And we'll do our best to ensure lakhs of teachers across the country get this book. That let's imagine 101 teachers share about what helps them to get the best out of their children. And a teacher in Sholapur, a teacher in Leh Ladakh, a teacher in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, who wants to be a great teacher, is ambitious but does not know how, their creativity is not working. And they get this book in their hand. And they can say, I learned from a Shushinder Kaur that this is what will work. I read what Dr. Naren does, and I think this suits my style and temperament also. This idea of Swati is so profound. I think I can do this. We create a community of teachers who are sharing their superpowers and helping the individual student to become a superpower, and in turn, make our country a superpower in times to come. I see teachers as the backbone in the background, which will help India reach on top of the world. I see teachers as the silent revolutionaries who will help Indians to create a revolution for the whole world to follow. I'm grateful to you, and on behalf of my entire team at KMM, where an army of young women and men reached out to schools, principals, and shared with them, this is the program that we are doing. Would you like to send your teachers? Thanks to them, thanks to the principals, who very gladly said, I'm going to forward it to not only my teachers, but also to the other principals that I know in my circle. My job is the easiest, to sit in front of the camera and speak. But there are thousands of well-wishers who work in the background to make events like this possible. We are all privileged that we get an opportunity to work with teachers For teachers are the ladders walking on which people become leaders in future. So, darling teachers, thank you so much for being who you are, for taking up teaching as a profession, where you may not become rich, but you enrich individuals, students, families, and the nation. Somewhere towards the end of March or beginning of April, I would like to come back to you. And by that time, maybe the book would have been created. And we will share the book with you. And let's together impact lakhs of teachers and crores of students in times to come. If you have any suggestion whatsoever on the number that has been shared and on the email ID which has been given, feel free to reach out to us. And if any teacher has any issue where you think somebody like me can be of help to you, feel free not to ask, but to command. It will be an honor to do something for you and with you. Have a great week. Thank you so much. And keep blessing us and keep blessing your students. God bless. Jai Hind. Vande Mataram. Thank you so much. With this, let's close the session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for a nice session.
Thank you, sir.
Nice
It's
to
a pleasure for us to attend your session. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
sir.
Sir.
Thank you so much.